Welcome back to another week at DroneDJ. We'll kick off by talking about more updates on DJI Avata, and then we've got another flying car this week. There's also more on the FAA remote ID updates, and we've also got a video of the week. So turning back to Kirk, 3 weeks since Avata was released, and there's still a lot going around. So
I see a lot of YouTube videos still going out for people getting them and posting them or review units. And we just posted our review this week. David, who we had on for the release on the release day of it, he posted his review. It's a 4,000 word beast of a review that is extremely detailed, and
very
I love it.
thorough.
He also reviewed the bones, and it was very similar. It's like 2,000 words, and it's very detailed, and I love it. Like it's such they're so great. Like he's such an expert and knows everything about this stuff, and he just goes so down deep into every part of it, and so that's really well done. And yeah, DJI released some new videos, kind of showing off this week, like what you can do with it.
You can tell which products they're really focused on by how much they spend in marketing, right?
They've been doing a lot of marketing on, just on all their drones. Like they've been doing a lot of marketing on all their drones, like for the first few weeks after they come out. But this has been a really cool video. I watched both of them. There's another one that's a little less. I don't know if the other one's actual Avata or if it's like kind of like flying or if it's more CGI. But I don't know. But we can watch that. I don't know if we'll watch that one or not.
Because they're more tourism themed.
Mm-hmm.
Like look at the video title, you wouldn't think it was just Avata. It was more tourism themed.
Yeah. And it's just showing off like everything you can do. I want to imagine they have like 2 Avatas flying around each other.
At least. At least.
Like the communication between those pilots is just hilarious. Because like we went out when I was flying out in Florida, flying with some friends. We had like 2 drones up at a time, and it'd be like, all right, you stay at this altitude, I'm going to this altitude, like don't go above this altitude, like trying to, like, because they're not experienced drone pilots. I'm just in there, and they want to like kind of like let loose and fly a little bit. I'm like, all right, just don't go above this altitude though, because we're not colliding drones today.
I wish there was something I can do in the DJI Fly app to say, okay, I want to fly not just to have an altitude ceiling, but to say I want to fly between,
between these 2 altitudes, like so I can't go lower than that. Like that's kind of like what we were kind of communicating, be like, all right, do that. It'd be kind of cool, like especially with like with multiple Avatas like that, like at that point you're dealing with professionals, and they're like whatever communications they have between those 2.
But the good thing with Avata is because it's so protected, even when it bumps,
even if you do collide with each other, you'd probably be fine.
Yeah, we're actually working on a compilation of our crashes. It's actually fun.
I'm sure. Yeah, like I've seen the
so
ability
let me
of
stop
this.
this. I'll leave the video description. I'll leave the video link in description down below. But if you look at, like, I've had this for 3 weeks, right? So let me see if you can. Can you see how green it is inside?
It's insane how much.
And
grass
this is after cleaning, right?
Yeah. Is that just like, it's probably just from chopping grass when it falls, like, and it just like powderizes it across the.
One of the really interesting angles is flying low, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you fly low, you're chopping grass even without falling. But I also find this is just window insulation, right? So just adding that little bit of a strip, and it's really nice and soft. Because the one thing, almost one of the only things I didn't like is the actual propeller, guards are a little too rigid. So I don't like when it hits trees, especially at the high speed. So that's why we added just a little bit of call it the bumper, right?
David said he already has a crack in one of his guards from hitting a rock. So he was also flying at like a few inches above the ground, and also on a rock game. But you'll read that as what happened afterwards. But yeah, like still, that's pretty smart to add a little bit of film or a little bit of
and it's been 3 weeks, so I started compiling my list of different accessories we basically bought and modifications just to make it last a little longer before we having to do any replacement parts or repairs.
You still like you find on the motion controller still, right?
No, I use the actual
you have
TV controller.
All right, gotcha. Have you tried the motion controller yet?
Yeah. I mean, we have people coming in to try it all the time. Like students come in just to try the drone all the time before they buy, right? Especially trying, is it the newer goggles better for them or the older one? Actually depends on facial shape and personal preference. I find beginners enjoy the motion controllers, but pros who are used to using joysticks actually prefer the physical controller. I prefer the physical controller too.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think I'm still going to lean towards that motion controller. Those look pretty fun. So if I
Oh no, someone crashed their Air 2S.
Oh, I mean, I crashed my Mini 3.
I hope you have DJI Care.
Yeah,
that's the only thing.
Yeah. So, yep, it all happens. It happens.
But. Okay, flying car updates.
Yeah, so this company called DroneDJ, yeah, has come out with a concept of a new 2-seater flying car, the rival Jetson and Air 1, which is it's still one of those like concepts. I think we talked about like the flying car market is worse than the EV market when it comes to like concepts and pre-orders. Like, I mean, everyone gives Tesla crap for taking reservations, and then you have to wait months for cars or years for if you're looking at the Roadster. But like, I feel like flying cars is gonna be worse. This it took 36.
If you watch any of our previous flying car videos, you know we criticize on them quite a bit. So this is just another new one we saw this week.
Yeah, and they took 36 reservations, and I think they're trying to have it done by next year, like end of next year. They're still prototyping it, so I doubt they're going to have a certified version by the end of next year. But if people want to buy it, people want to put. I think coming at like 180,000. If you want to spend that money, go right ahead. I don't.
Right off the top, what I didn't like was pictures of the product. Like, if you didn't tell me this was a flying car, and I look at this picture, it doesn't look scale.
No, it doesn't. It's really none of their renders have like good scaling.
I had to go to their official website, and let me just refresh this. So if that's the first note that pops up on their website, and we tried, we try, and I can't even open link in, like, I can't even open in a new window. And
it's crowdfunded. I don't know Start Engine. I've never heard of Start Engine before. I don't know. This is like an international version of Kickstarter or Go. I don't remember the other one is, but it looks a little shady.
I was never a big fan of crowdfunding. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah, but
it's not cheap.
No, it's not. Like, it's like I said, I think they're doing 180,000 is what they want, like, per. I think that's what the cost is going to be per unit. It looked like this site gives you equity, which is interesting. I've never seen a site that gives equity. It doesn't say
what's the minimum. Is there a minimum amount? So $249 price per share.
And minimum investment's $350. It looks like. The valuation is 159 million. Not sure how that works.
Should I put $350 on?
Yeah, it's just live on air. Let's also put your credit card information on there too. Like,
I don't know, for $350. I don't know. Should I give it a try?
Yeah, who knows? But it's interesting. I don't know. 2 million offering, 19 days.
I mean, it's only $250 per share, right? If you look at it that way, it's cheaper than lottery tickets.
Yeah.
We should compare the odds. Which one, the odds are actually higher, winning the mega or jackpot lottery,
Mega Millions,
or this turning into profit?
That's a great question. I think that could possibly be interesting. Look into which one is more profitable.
Maybe we'll start our own pool. What do you think? Leave in the comments down below. Now, going back to the product itself, I had to go to their official website to find out what, do they have any more product pictures? Because I'm trying to see in scale, like, how large is this thing going to be? But if I go down their entire website, I have to say, if I look at this, just on this white background, I would have thought this is a flying car. Like, I would have thought I put Lego figures in there.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an actual passenger vehicle.
It looks like a drone, like you would buy it. It's like just a drone's like a farm size, like kind of like toy to fly it. I mean, it does go through with some stats and it gives you size, but
even these pictures look like those miniature photography, right? Because the background is actually blurred.
And also, they kind of seem like they kind of just like they hit the market. They hit like
They're
all the
trying to
talking
hit all
points.
the markets if you look
They
at
hit
it.
all the target points. They start off with like EMS, like they do all the first responders,
Yeah, and
military,
then they put
and
military. Where's the
then
weapon on it? Where's my rocket launcher on it? If they're
I was gonna
putting
say, like, yeah, where's your? It seems to be just as nice as the civilian one. So I don't know what the changes are. They're just hit all the talking
or
points.
is
Like
it
it could be used for anything.
just a themed paint that you get to choose? That's the color.
No, yeah, you just get the color. That's what I mean by military. You get the tan. That's all you get. Desert tan.
Okay, if this were police, where's the siren?
Yeah, where's the lights? Yeah, that's fair. But I don't know. It's the flying car market. I think it's one of those things where it's gonna be probably just super niche for like a super long time. Like it's not gonna probably grow as fast as like I think we see like the normal air mobility, like the passenger like the shuttles that the air that they're working on. I don't think it's going to grow as fast as that because this is going to be like you gotta live in an area where you can take off and land from your house. You got to have a place to go where you can take off and land from. Like it's going to just be like super harder, to
I
kind
will
of make this
target.
more.
I will target those who have private helicopters.
Mm-hmm.
Right, those would probably be potential
Tom
candidates.
Cruise.
Yeah. Well,
Tom Cruise will probably have one of these. I don't know if he'll have this one, but he'll have one of them. I'm sure he'll probably do the Jetson, the one that like it's like the little
yeah,
little
yeah,
tiny
that's more like
cockpit.
him. I
Yeah,
agree.
that sounds like a lot more like him.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest concern that we both have is the licensing issue with these is that a lot of them are just either no training or very little training, but you don't get a license. So this Drone is going for a light sport classification. I think it's light sport aircraft certification with the FAA, which
FAA
to
certificate.
my knowledge,
There
it
we
just
go.
on the website it just says FAA certified.
And
But
if we look at timeline, this is future time stamp.
this is like super far. This is further than what their dates
Are
were.
you supposed to use past tense when it's future time stamp? Is this
I guess it's up to the
FAA
website.
certified?
I mean, I guess as long as you put a date next to it, I guess you're fine. As long as you don't say you're certified before, I don't know, but this to my understanding, a light sport certification you don't need a license for. I think you just need some training on it. I think, but not 100% certain on that because that's not really in the drone world, so I don't really know how that works. But it doesn't say anywhere you'll need a private pilot license, which
It's not
is
a bad
probably
idea.
my friend's going through a private pilot license right now, and it's extensive.
It is. Yeah.
Like it is. You learn a lot, and it's probably very important. Like not just aerodynamics and like how to fly a plane, like, but just emergency procedures and all this stuff. So,
well, because there's part of pilot training that's situation awareness and pilot mentality training, right? It's about building up that knowledge base. So if anything happens in the air, I mean, your life is depending on it. So,
I mean, you're practically a helicopter at this point. So,
yeah.
like, you're gonna how are you gonna land at an airport if you don't know the procedures when you get to an airport?
Agreed.
Like,
yeah. Or it will be a threat to the other airplanes, right?
You're practically and especially people flying below 400 feet. Those things it's gonna be rough.
I mean, as we know, we don't talk about action cameras much, but since this is a really interesting week, we're just gonna mention that just so happens GoPro with the 3 new Hero 11 cameras and Insta360, and as we know, DJI's Action 3, all 3 were released at the same time.
Yeah, X3 got released last week, but Hero 11 and DJI Action 3 all got released within a day of each other pretty much this week. I don't know. I have not used them. I haven't really seen any reviews, but what I've heard is that the Action 3 is a little rushed to the market. Although it does support native vertical shooting, which is kind of interesting. But which I think is
so if any of you are using action cams, let us know what your thoughts are.
Yeah. So
last update for this week is FAA back again with remote ID. So looks like FAA, I wouldn't call it pushing back remote ID compliance date. I think it sounds more like giving an extension for manufacturers to comply with remote ID.
Yes, it does sound like they kind of brought on some sort of different process or something like that, so that they're giving people more time to kind of adhere to what they have to do to become compliant with remote ID. And paired with this, there are now DJI is one of the first, I think the first maker. I don't remember. I haven't heard any, but like to have drones certified with remote ID. 7 drones.
7 of
Mini
them.
3, Avata, Air 2S, Mavic 3, Mavic 3 Cine, M30, and M30 Thermal.
Essentially, are all of the
all the newest
models, all of the current models of DJI.
Yep. So no M300 though, which would be interesting to see. But they are looking at doing more in the future, so we could possibly see like the hopefully the older minis would be interesting to see what happens with those. If you have to put a additional module on it, which then pushes it over to 50.
I'm just gonna say it again. Okay, if DJI can get a Mini 3, it's 1,500. Say you get the whole package with Fly More kit and everything. If they can put remote ID compliance, which essentially is your ADS-B out, right? So airplanes can see the position of your drone and avoid it, obviously, if they get into conflict. So if they can do that on a drone that costs $1,500, including your ground equipment with your Fly Market, I don't see why all the single engine airplanes out there that are still worth, talking about tens of thousands of dollars, why they shouldn't be compliant with transponders. Because as of now, it's only controlled airspace that they need to have transponder compliance.
Oh yeah, there's no way. Like it's just
like, shouldn't they go both ways? Like again, I'm just
it should go 100% go both ways.
Right.
You're right. It should be, and it's just really, it's kind of one of those. I bet it's also probably easier to I mean, you'd have to force a manufacturer of planes to put it in. I think that's kind of like the difference. Is that right? With aircraft, you're forcing the pilot to comply. With remote ID, you're forcing the manufacturer to comply.
So it's not.
And I think it would make sense to force like Beechcraft and Cessna and all the other companies to put in ADS-B out capabilities into their planes. Like it's forced to.
Yeah, because my challenge is if I spot any low flying, small planes like a single engine plane, and I held up, let's say, my flight radar or one of those, apps that's supposed to rate the ADS-B, the transponder data on it, I can't see it on those small planes. I can't see it on those low flying helicopters, and those are the ones I actually worry about. And I believe it should be fair. Like if remote ID is on all drone manufacturers, then transponder should also be on airplane manufacturers. And they have no excuse. Like this is a $1,500 equipment. You've got tens of thousands. They've got no excuse.
The biggest thing I have to worry about with one of the places I go for drone testing, mostly because it's a super wide open fields and not a lot of people, is crop dusting. So, which is super low flying and like super quick as well. It's they're not slow flying either. So I kind of have to be, if I hear a plane, I have to like kind of like look around, drive around, make sure there's no crop dusting going on that time of year. Now we're going into winter, so it's going to be less, but still, like during the summer, it was kind of like all of a sudden plane goes flying overhead. I'm like, oh great, I didn't know that was there because there's nothing on the map and I can't see. Like it's just, you gotta make sure your ears are in tune.
If we look at the list right now, is both DJI and Skydio announced that they would follow, and also talking about software-wise, if any of the drones use Altarian as the control, as the flight control app, then it would also comply. So let's see, who else jumps on the boat. Because looking at just this list here, I'm not seeing Autel.
Right? Autel. I was thinking the same thing. Like, where's Autel?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess we shall see.
Yep.
Okay, so to wrap up today's session, just gonna show you a video of the week, and it's a vertical one.
Yeah, with balloons.
Summer is over.
Summer, you can't say it out loud, then it comes true. You gotta wait for the snow to come.
Well, I woke up to 8 degrees this morning. I think
it's still 80 degrees. Like yeah. So I'm still hoping to try to get some good.
This was shot with Avata. Yeah, so if you're wondering, if people are wondering what this was shot on, this is shot on Avata, which was really was a lot of fun, basically.
It looks like a lot of fun. I gotta get me one of those.
So thanks for joining us this week, and we'll see you back here next Friday. Have a nice weekend, everyone.